and let's get started. For those of you joining us, good morning. Please go ahead and make sure that you're comfortable on your mat, and what you will need today is a pillow, a blanket, or a rolled up towel. You can also even use your pillows from your bed, as they would be the perfect size cushion for our deeper poses when we get into the holds. Yin Yoga is utilized to open up through the hip flexors, allowing some more space to be released through the psoas area, where the muscles wrap from around the back, come through the front, and then attach themselves into the thighs and then down into the calves. So in Yin Yoga, we hold these poses so that we can let ourselves settle and release slowly but surely, little by little, breath by breath. So if at any time you feel any pinching or any discomfort that is excruciating or any pain, then you want to back out of the pose. Let's prop you up and get you into a little bit more comfort, because the intention of today's class is to sit in poses for about 3 minutes, each one on each side. So I would encourage you to use either a block if you've got your yogi blocks, or to definitely utilize your pillows today, or a nice little cozy blanket. Now we're going to come into basically our first pose, which is a seated meditation. And in this pose, I will encourage you to sit on something to elevate your hips.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. So that the hips drop down and the knees are low to the ground. If you feel any sensation in the knees and this is uncomfortable for you, then please extend your legs out long in front of you. From this space, you want to sit your pelvic floor or your seat forward. So you're going to lift up so you can tilt slightly forward, and then lengthen so that the crown is reaching towards the sky, shoulders over the hips. Relax the hands, and please close your eyes. Let's take a nice deep breath in and out the mouth. Deep breath in and out the mouth. One more, just like that. Out the mouth. Let's bring the lips together. Focus the breath in and out the nose. We'll begin our meditation now for the next 3 minutes. Lengthening through the spine, rooting your seat into the block or blanket or earth beneath you. Allow your breath to wash over you like a cleansing energy. And widen the net of your hearing. Maybe you hear beyond your breath. We'll invite 3-part breath as the belly rises and the chest expands, filling up like a balloon. And a calm exhale, slow and steady, as you release this breath and the belly softens, maybe draws in towards your spine. Begin to repeat this pattern of breath at your own accord. And for those of you graduating to Ujjayi breath, a gentle engagement of the throat muscles, like you're fogging a mirror with the mouth closed. Choose better thoughts. Reap a better life. We're constantly tempted to think wrong thoughts, but we don't have to accept them. What's inside you will find its way out. So when you fill your mind with good, positive, powerful, and life-giving things from God, those blessings flow. Words are able to save life and cause death. So you must accept the result of what you say. Learning to receive divine help shifts everything. Our words are extremely powerful. Change your thoughts, change your life. If the universe wants you to do something, it will either give you the ability or send help if you are open. What can you be open to today? Lengthen through the spine, begin to reach the arms up and the palms touch. And exhale, hands to heart. Again, inhale, sweep the arms up, maybe look up. And exhale, hands to heart. On your next breath, kindly open the eyes if they're closed. Remove the prop from underneath you. And we are going to make our way into our first pose, reclined bound ankle pose. So let's come to laying down on our backs, and we're going to draw our feet together, and the knees are going to sway apart. As we're on our back, this is going to be a nice space to either take any blocks, pillows, or even sneakers. These two, place them underneath your thighs and allow yourself to rest there. Here you go, see. We throw props at each other here until I can get them out of my car. Basically, I should just go do it. So lift your hips, relax. Natural arch of your spine returns. Shoulders into the mat. Now we'll be here for 3 minutes. If you would like to place a little blanket underneath the arch of your spine, it's a sweet option and it really alleviates any pressure. Your hands can rest on the inner thighs if that's for you. You can rest them out by your sides, or one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. If you like, again, you can have your knees a little bit higher by stacking or building as many pillows as you want underneath you. Remain here and breathe. Remember also in this practice that if at any time the sensation becomes unbearable, then you want to remove yourself from the pose. It should not hurt you. If it's just uncomfortable or it's just discomfort that you're feeling because it's something that you don't like doing, it's probably something that you need. So it doesn't hurt, but it's uncomfortable or you feel the sensation of discomfort. Let's breathe into those spaces together. Chances are, this is where you need to face something that's uncomfortable for you. Chances are, the discomfort is a mirror. So get curious. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyebrows. If you like, you can move your head from side to side, massaging the back of the skull. Returning back to that Dirga breath or Ujjayi breath. If you fall asleep, that's okay. Maybe that's what your body needs this morning.
And maybe that's how relaxed you've become in this pose to open up fully, to receive those blessings. Mind over matter, change your thoughts. One more minute. Allow your thoughts to wander as they flow in, flow out. Give yourself permission to become the observer. Slide the hands down towards the knees and start to draw the knees together. Constructive rest, knees together, feet apart. Lift the hips and reposition. The lower back presses into the mat. Windshield wiper inside, so instead of outwardly, you're just dropping the knees in towards each other. Couple rounds of breath. And then kindly let's return back to constructive rest. Knees together, feet apart. Breath in and out. Draw the knees in, hug yourself here. Getting some traction through the lower back. Kindly rocking from side to side until you make your way onto your left or right and pause for a moment. Receive the nectar of the pose before lifting up so you fully rest. For a full breath, the next inhale, press yourself up, rise to seated. From here, extend the right leg long and draw your left knee in, but walk your left hip forward. And I'm also just going to ask you, if you need to lift the right hip up, if the hips are uneven, or if your gait is off, lift one hip slightly higher, bring it back. You can also sit on the blanket, okay? Fist distance apart here, right hand down by your side. Lift the left arm up. On the inside of this left leg, we're going to reach towards our big toe to get a stretch. You can reach for your ankle. You can reach for your shin. I have very long arms, so I can go a little bit further. And then a couple breaths here. You're only holding this for 5 breaths just to get a gentle stretch. Those more flexi yogis that like to take your binds and are more familiar with this Ashtanga pose, feel free to offer that to your own personal practice. Begin to take the journey upwardly. Inhale. Release the left hand, extend the left leg, draw the right knee in. Fist distance apart. And then right hip forward, left hip back. Flex the left foot, reach the right arm up, reach, 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 reach. Lengthen. Then exhale, reach forward towards that left toe, shoulder and knee kiss, and begin to journey forward. A couple breaths here. Remember your calming breath. Thigh muscles are both engaged. Imagine that you could lift that left heel off the ground. That's how active you'd like to have your leg. When you get to your 5th round of breath, slowly roll yourself up, make your way up. Release your hand down, and kindly let's draw the knees both in and make our way onto hands and knees for a moment as we prepare for our next pose. For this stretch, kindly take the right foot forward in front of you and take it out towards the left side of your mat. Lizard stretch. This is a space where I'm going to encourage you to double up your mat so that your knee is very comfortable here, okay? This is also a space that I'm going to encourage you to utilize your blocks or even a pillow so you can support yourself here. Sensitive wrists, use a pillow, okay, so that you put no too much pressure. If you need to use the blocks, you can bring the earth to you here so that way you're not resting or dumping the weight down, but you're bringing the length here up through the crown, but the energy is in that hip flexor. So you're working through the ascending colon, you're working through the IT band, you're going all the way into those hip flexor psoas muscles, all the way through the left as well. This is a beautiful stretch. You can take this all the way down. We're going to be here for 3 minutes, so we've only been here for 5 seconds. If you like, you can also take the forearms down. Keep the knee and the shoulder together. I know it sucks, but hey, we're doing it together. We're getting through it together. That's the beauty about our practice as community. We breathe through everything together. That's why we come together for yoga. Helping my buddy out. This is a space where you're going to want to relax your jaw. Relax your eyebrows. 2 minutes left. This is also a space where you get into your head a lot. Stop thinking so much in this moment. Count your breath. In through the nose. Deep exhale. And maybe you can visualize sending your breath into those little tight spaces. This is about the part where you want to wiggle out of the pose or wiggle around or straighten the front leg and all the things. So let's stay with it. Belly rises on the inhale. Belly falls. Relax your jaw. Relax the lips. No piercing of the lips. Find that gentle smile, that inner body bright is coming through. This is our last minute here, y'all. The deeper the breath, the more the more freedom you receive. On the exhale, you can go a little bit deeper. For those of you very deep in the pose, you have the option to stay there or start to very slowly, a couple breaths, to walk your way up. And everyone else, begin to take your hands down to the earth. Press yourself up here. Straighten the front legs, take the hips back for a moment, and go back and forth. Press the hands down to the ground, tuck the toes, downward facing dog, right leg lifts. And make a few circles. If downward dog is not coming out for you today, you can stay on your left knee, tabletop. And then let's return down towards the earth, downward dog, both feet on the ground, or tabletop for those that like to stay a little bit lower. Walk your dog. 2 breaths. And make them full breaths, not happy halves. Full breath. And let's prepare for the other side. Reposition your mat. So if you folded your mat in one side, fold your mat in on the other. Take your right knee down. Take your left foot forward, help your buddy out. Ensure knee ankle alignment, please, friends. Then you only walk your back leg to the extent of your edge, and just discover that for yourself. Not mine, but yours. Some are much lower than me, more open, some are much higher. It's okay. Meet yourself where you are, nobody else. Now, you can bring the earth to you, walk your foot out, create the space you need to let the hips drop down and look forward. Then, take a nice deep breath in. This is the left side, y'all. This is a very emotional side, so get yourself all ready. You're gonna maybe start laughing or crying or get mad. It's all good. Exhale into the space, hold for 3 minutes. Take yourself wherever you went before. It might be different on one side than the other. Work towards keeping your knee close to your shoulder. Relax the grip of the jaw. Relax your eyes. Allow yourself to discover as an observer what's coming up for you on this side. Notice if the breath is shallow or if it's full. Relax the tongue. Relax your eyebrows. This is about the space that you want to get out of the pose. You still got some time. Breathe into it. Got 1.5 minutes left. Notice if you need to walk your way up and support yourself there for a few more breaths. Breathe intelligence into the tightness. last minute here, y'all. Find your smile, inner body bright. Today's mantra is Soham. So inhale, I am Soham. I am connected to all things. I can release all things. No attachments. Yesterday was yesterday. Today is today. Now is now. 30 seconds. Notice your core engaging. This should feel so good. You should be so strong. And smile. Even if you're mad at me, smile. Start to slowly walk your way up. Straighten the front leg. And go back and forth. It's probably a lot of going on there, and that's good. I could kind of hear it if I was in our class. And then very, very kindly, we're going to come to downward facing dog or all fours and go ahead and release that leg up and get the joints and the fluid moving. And we'll meet back down on all fours. Remove the fold of your mat. Let's push back to child's pose. Wide legs, knees apart, toes together. And then take the hips back. Walk the hands down. If you have a pillow, this is a sweet space to place the pillow right along the chest or the sternum and allow your head to rest. More of a restorative pose as well. Brings the earth to you. You can find that beautiful smile. Allow yourself to release attachments to the sensations. And allow the emotions to flow through you. Allow your tears to flow. Allow your laughs to laugh. Allow your joy to be exploding. Share that with all of us. Just bringing out the last of that full moon energy. We're going to slide our way back up to seated. Please take your props to the side. You're going to use them in a second as we come into our favorite poses here. Fire log pose. Let's begin with taking the right shin parallel to the top edge of our mat. And if that's not for you today, then maybe keep your shin your foot closer towards the body, and we work towards that together. Your left foot is going to go on top of your right foot, okay? And you're going to have the knee over the ankle. Now note, my knee doesn't go all the way down here, so I'm going to use a blanket or a pillow or something to support that space. You're going to be here for 3 minutes. On your sit bones are going to sit under like we did in the beginning, and if you need to sit on something, sit on something. Now, look up, lift your chest, roll your shoulders back, be proud here. For some of you, this is it. Stay aquí, don't move. Just breathe into the space. You're going to feel this openness right through the hip flexor and right out down that IT band. You're going to start to even feel it in the lower back when you start to come forward. For those of you coming forward, use all the tools around you. So if you got blocks, coffee cups, If you have your water bottles, whatever you're going to have in front of you, bring the earth to you. Once you're in space, find your edge, rest yourself down, more flexies, take it all the way down, and you'll be there for 3 minutes. Now, begin. Please keep everything dynamic in the body. Notice your breath. The ebb and flow, turning back into your Ujjayi breathing or Durga breath. And also note that if Durga breath is not comfortable for you, or if Ujjayi is not comfortable because it irritates the sinuses, then simply tuning into your natural breath is fine. Two minutes left. Relax the jaw, relax the eyes, friends. Even relax the glutes. Get curious with the sensations through the hips and through the thighs. Notice the belly rise and fall. Counting your 3, 4, 5 on the inhale. Matching or extending the exhale. Inviting the sounds of Om in your practice. Maybe a hum. Allowing the vibrations of the body to stimulate through. 30 seconds. Two more breaths. Last breath here. Slowly begin to release. Walk yourself up. And very kindly extend the legs out in front of you. Tap that out. And now we change positions. Switch. Left leg's on the bottom, right leg on top. Same options apply here. So I'm working through some arthritis in my right knee, so I tend to be a little higher on this side. So I like to utilize my blanket and stack it. Again, make this comfortable for you. One side's different than the other. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, fold. Sustain here for as long as you need. And if you need to readjust and reposition, please do so. Once you accommodate yourself, 3 minutes, begin now. Sweet space to close the eyes, to soften your gaze. If you feel comfortable here, then Draw your left shins more parallel, and if both legs are completely parallel, fold completely over the legs, letting the chest rest gently on the right shin and extending the arms long or taking a bind, reaching the arms back behind you. Breathing into that right hip flexor. Relaxing through the eyes. Relax the mouth. Find a gentle smile. Focus mainly on the belly breathing. As you exhale, letting the belly draw in, giving yourself more space to come forward. Getting curious with your body. Just listen. Just observe. Resist the urge to pierce the lips. If you find any strain, just give yourself permission to back off gently. Last minute here. Allow your breath to deepen as you release more into the space. "30 seconds. Last 2 breaths here. Big breath in. Through the nose, exhale. Through the nose, big breath. Deep exhale. Let's walk our way up. Hands back behind you. Remove your props. Legs extend out in front of you, and go ahead and tap that out.
We come to the peak pose this morning for pigeon pose. Go ahead and come to hands and knees. We'll take the right knee behind the right wrist. Turn the right shin so that it's almost or fully parallel to the front edge of your mat. From here, the left knee is going to walk itself back and release the leg. Now, look at your feet. If your foot is turned in and not flat out, then you want to turn your foot out so it's like a tail, okay? And the toes is the last little point of your dragon tail. Then you're gonna let your left hip come forward and the right hip draws back, okay? Now, this is a space where I highly recommend we place a block or a blanket under the right tushy. Blocks are great For support, for higher, it also has a second height here. I wouldn't really use a third, so I would just do level 2 or level 1, or a blanket or a pillow, okay? Then you can also use your block, if you're not using it, for under your right hip to keep you squared, okay? You can place it in front of you too, okay? Now from this space, you can either stay lifted or use the block to keep you up, or begin to make your way all the way down. 3 minutes starts now. Lower yourself down into the earth. You can take your forehead down to the mat. You can rest on your forearms. If you feel any pinching in this right knee, first I would suggest you draw the foot in as close to you as possible to see if that alleviates that sensation. If it's still very painful, or you feel a sensation that is extremely uncomfortable, that it's unbreathable, I would like for you to turn on your back and take your foot across the left knee and take your leg up to the sky, and you will be in the reverse version of the pose. Connect to your breath, my friends. This is a pose that we tend to forget that we're holding the breath, and we just hold it. Bring attention to your belly button in this pose. This is where you want to relax your face. Keep the left leg very active so the toes don't sickle in. You might even be pressing that foot into the ground. Some of you might even be lifting the knee off the ground. Relax that jaw. The core is very strong here, so you're breathing, your belly's drawing in, creating more space over that right leg. If your forehead's touching the mat, feel free to roll your forehead from side to side, massaging from temple to temple. Again, linking back to your breath. Last minute here. Breathe into all the little nuances. Know where you want to say, hey, I want to get out. Don't do that. Breathe into it. Change your mind. Focus on your positive thoughts. Breathing out all of that fear, resistance. Surrender. Here we go, friends. Very slowly start to walk your way back. Press your hands down into the earth. Tuck the left toes. Take the right leg back. You can have your knee on the ground or take down dog, your choice, and make a few circles. Get a stretch.
And then let's journey our way to the other side. So now we have the left knee come behind the left wrist or just outside it. The left shin parallel or in the direction of the front edge of your mat. Extend the right leg long. You'll notice one side more open than the other. Again, hips square. Zip up and lower. Once you're in your space, make sure that that left foot is long. Right foot is long. Toes pointing. Begin 3 minutes. Find your Ujjayi breath. Find your Durga breath. Melt over your legs. It's really important to focus on your tummy because this is where we tend to hold the breath. Allow your right hip to roll more forward. So you resist the urge of dumping everything on the left. You can make a pillow with your hands. Relax the eyebrows. Relax your jaw. Continue to focus your breath in and out the nose as best you can. And I would say to breathe more into the back body. So visualize you're spreading the back of your ribs apart and drawing them, the front of the ribs together on the exhale. Now, of course, we can't actually do that, but it's a visualization. Last minute. Space where we can let go together. So although most of the time our yoga practice is quite tantric when we're all together in the same room, breathing the same breath in unison to connect in the Shakti and this power we have together, we can invite that here online as we take ourselves consciously into the space and we bring awareness into our mind's eye of all those beautiful students and friends that we practice with. And these last 30 seconds together here, collectively breathe as one. Inviting this tantric experience, the Shakti energy, to be sensed through the lens of the camera. 2 more breaths. Deep exhale together. 1 more breath. Exhale together. Walk the hands back towards the thighs. Lift up. Press down, rise up, down dog or tabletop. Stretch it out. Stretchy stretch. So even though we might be apart, we're always together, friends. right here, in that heart space. We're going to make our way to seated position, darlings. Cross your ankles, roll back. Oh yeah. Everybody's thinking it. I feel it. Let's roll on down, friends. All the way down. And then take your knees in and hug yourself. And then happy baby stretch, just for a few rounds of breath. Hands to the insides of your thighs, bend the kneesies, feet touching the sky. Maybe you rock back and forth. Maybe you take your feet together and let the knees come apart for reverse butterfly. You might take your peace fingers or your hands to your ankles or your shins and extend the legs out into a V. I'll invite you to take whatever closing pose you need before we make our way into Shavasana. Please take the next 3 breaths to explore that last pose for yourself. And of course, you can always take that pose for much longer. For those of you making your way into Shavasana, legs will extend long, or for sensitive back, bend the knees. Protect the lower back, reposition the hips. Sweet spot to add that little blanket or towel underneath your back. If you like to cover yourself, you can. If you like to cover your eyes, you can. Whatever you like. As you make your way into Shavasana, for those of you in Shavasana, scan your body. Make the little adjustments needed, all the little wiggles, the waggles, the winks, the tweaks. Those who prefer seated meditation, you're welcome to come into that space where our physical eyes are closed, the third eye awakens. Collectively take a deep breath in. Exhale and release. Natural breath. Allow your emotions to flow freely. Thoughts to flow as they come. Mind to wander. Becoming an open conduit to receive. Choose better thoughts. Reap a better life. We're constantly tempted to think wrong thoughts, but we don't have to accept them. What's inside you will find its way out. So when you fill your mind with good, positive, powerful, life-giving things from God, those blessings flow through. Learning to receive divine help shifts everything. If the universe wants you to do something, it will either give you the ability or send help if you are open. words are able to save life and cause death. So you must accept the result of what you say. Change your thoughts, change your life. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. I am all things. Begin to breathe into your fingers and your toes. Feeling free to take this moment to receive your connections, to stay in meditation, or to make gentle movements to awaken as we join together in seated meditation for collective healing. As we're in the space of seatedness, bring your hands together. Inhaling Soham to yourself. I am love, I am all things. Nothing can take from you. We have choices. What we offer and receive, what we allow in and what releases itself out. Change your mind, change your life. The light in me honors the divine light that lives in each of you. Thank you for joining us, and may you have a blessed rest of your day. Namaste. Together we close with Om. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Jai Bhagwan Ki Jai. Namaste.
Bye, y'all.